Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alyssa, and on this channel I create budgeting content, planning content, and side hustle content. So if any of that does sound interesting to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button in the corner right down here and subscribe and follow along my journey to paying off over $200,000 in student loan debt. On this video here today, we will be closing out the first half of September 2023. I use the Budget by Paycheck workbook from the Budget Mom. This is the expense tracker. As you can see, I use the highlighter method. Just FYI, all of the highlighters I use, all of these tabs down here, and any other supplies that I use are all linked in my Amazon storefront, which is always in the description box below. So if you're ever curious of like what I use or want to order them yourselves, go ahead and follow that link. It is an affiliate link, but it doesn't cost you anything extra if you were to purchase those items. I know Prime Day is right around the corner, the 11th and 12th, so that might be a good time to start stocking up on some budgeting stuff. But as you can see, my expense tracker was completed. I added all of the categories up from my budget category sheet, and this is free on the Budget Mom's website. And so as we go through and close out the first half of September, so again, this was the calendar setup that we did. So it was the 1st through the 5th, basically the 1st through the 14th is what we set up. And then the second half of January, oh my gosh, you guys, my head is spinning like 100 million directions. It seems like I'm involved with way too much stuff. Gosh, I don't even know what month this is. Okay, September. So the second half of September will be the 15th through the 30th. Okay, so going back to the actual budget here. So again, September 1st through September 14th. The total inflow, we had my paycheck, which is from my full-time job, my W-2, was $17.99. Side hustle income was $200. I also have to make sure I go back to the vet to get the itemized receipt and submit that to the insurance claim. I've been very behind on that, but I want that money. So again, for fixed expenses, we got rent, which was $400, utilities. I normally save $50, but I've been saving $100 because one of my roommates has been gone. And so instead of splitting things like 3 ways, we've been splitting it 2 ways. So that just means like more that I have to pay. So utilities, life insurance was $22, pet was $47. Student loan, we had $300. I might up this going forward because my student loan payment is going to start being due in October 22nd, I believe. And it's going to be $1,062 a month, really, $1,062 a month. So I need to up this amount, and I'll go a little bit over what I'm going to be doing with my student loans in October. Car insurance, $65. Boxing gym, which was half of the boxing gym membership, $93. I honestly have not gone in about a month because I've been sick, I've been on vacation, and I'm just not making time to go. So I really need to start going to that. Acorns was $40, therapy was $25, and Merrill Lynch ended up being $45. So total expenses for fixed expenses was $1,137. Something that's new, which is this Merrill Lynch, is for my Roth IRA. So if you guys follow Dear Debt here on YouTube, I absolutely love her, and she's been a huge inspiration for me. I'll tag her YouTube channel below, but I adore watching her videos. The motivation really to save for the Roth IRA. Again, the federal limit is $6,500 a year, and you can do that all the way up, I believe, till tax day. You can contribute it to the previous year. So I am would love to get as close to that number as possible. I am saving for a house, so it is sort of a double-edged sword of which one do I want to save for? But I've started to put $15 every week. And I figured, hey, if I can eliminate eating out just once a week, that will basically be that $15 that can go into my Roth IRA. And so far it's been working out, and I can afford $15 every week, $30 every pay period pretty much, and $60 a month. Obviously that's not going to get me to the $6,500 a year, but it's something. So total fixed expenses was $1,137. We subtract that from the total inflow, which was $2,799. We get $1,662. So moving down to variable expenses, for grocery was $199. I need to stop going physically into the grocery store. It seems every time I go into the grocery store, I spend way more money than is needed. I just see things on sale. I love going to the meat aisle and seeing what's on discount I could put in my freezer. So I just cannot do that anymore. It's just a complete waste. I need to keep up with my ordering online because that really does save me money and time, honestly. Eating out was 120. Gas and car, I ended up not filling up at all during these couple weeks. I was gone for a little bit, so I didn't have to pay anything. Investments was just $10. That's on top of the Acorns and Merrill Lynch. This is the roundup through Acorns. Fun entertainment was 110. Nothing for holiday, nothing for self-care. I ended up getting my nails done actually in this next pay period, so it didn't count for this pay period. Miscellaneous was just $12, and pets was that $465 that I had budgeted. So total variable expenses ended up being $916. So if you minus that, what was left over from fixed expenses, it gives us $746. And then sinking funds was exactly what I had budgeted for, which was 100, leaving us with 646. Extra debt, we did put all of that 646 almost exactly to the Alaska Airlines card. And somehow, some way, shape, or form, I ended up exactly on budget because then there's zero left over. When I first closed out this budget, I was actually off by $200. And I was like, hold up. In previous times, like if I'm off by like $20 or $30, I let it go, right? Because it's, okay, I'm not going to spend an hour trying to find that money. But what happened was sometimes I make transactions like on my expense tracker prior to them happening. For example, where is it? I moved some money from my high yield savings account because, like, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know I got myself into some unfortunate credit card debt. And I had transferred $200, I thought, from my high yield savings account, and that goes into a separate checking account. Then I transfer to this checking account. It's very confusing, but it actually works for me. But I guess what ended up happening is I never actually transferred that $200. So if I would have actually been doing like calculating the expense tracker properly, I would have caught that. But half the time I just calculate my expenses maybe once or twice a week and then just rely on what's on my US bank account. And then I just rely on what's my checking account says, like once everything is actually up to date, like the tips have been applied or whatever. I was like, okay, the only thing like that matches $200 that should have been in my account was this Christmas. And I was like, well, maybe it could have been this Alaska Airlines debt. And I'm like, no. So I went through every single item on my expense tracker, compared it to my account statement in my checking account. And this was the only thing that actually never got put into my checking account. So I'm very thankful that I wasn't actually missing $200. It's there, it's just in the other account. I just didn't transfer it to my checking. And so when I had originally calculated this, I had $200 extra here in the savings. So it would have been $665. So I just ended up refreshing that to $465, and it all kind of worked out. I've really been trying to get back to zero. There was a couple of paycheck and budget cycle weeks over the summertime that I was consistently hitting $0. Maybe I was off by $1 or $2 due to rounding. So the fact that I actually came out with zero is just so refreshing for me because it's been really frustrating to like always be off on my budget. I know most of you or some of you do it to the penny. I just don't do that because there's not enough space to write here for me. I wish there was like a little bit smaller margins here so you could have a little bit bigger, but you know, it is what it is. I love how this, you know, this format looks, so no need to change it. But yeah, so I'm glad that I was able to find that and make sure that the $200 wasn't actually missing and I didn't somehow like escape my budget. But that's everything for this video here today. Again, we closed out the beginning of September, so the 1st through the 14th. Keep an eye out. We'll be setting up the second half of September in the next video. So make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, turn on the little notification bell, and I will see you in my next video real soon. Bye, everyone.